And good Friday afternoon. I'm Twister Talk. I'm Gary. Thanks for joining us. Giving a heads up about what could be a pretty nasty severe weather situation, especially Sunday into Monday. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. But I do want to give you an idea of what's happening. We've got a pretty strong cold front and low pressure system that will be forming tomorrow as it comes out of the Colorado Rockies. That'll then move into the plains. It's going to bring plenty of moisture and dew points from 55 to 65 degrees all the way up into the Ohio River Valley. And with plenty of wind shear in the atmosphere, you know what that means. Supercell thunderstorms with possible strong tornadoes are likely basically from Ohio all the way down into Mississippi on Sunday. We'll take a breakdown of the forecast in just a minute, but I want to take a look at Saturday. There is a slight risk of storms Saturday. Basically going to cover most of central Missouri, eastern Kansas, and northeastern Oklahoma. That's a chance for slight severe weather on Saturday. Basically, right now they're saying it's going to be more of a hail threat than anything else. And there could be some tornadoes, but we'll talk about the Sunday forecast where they're more likely. Again, some of this convection tomorrow will be elevated, which means it's going to be more likely to be a hail producer. We've talked about that before. You get storms forming with cool air on the surface and warm air above, and that basically doesn't breed tornadoes a lot. I mean, there could be one or two, but more likely this could be a hail and gusty wind producer, winds maybe 70 miles an hour plus. That's still enough to do some damage and bring down power lines and cause other issues. Some rains will be likely in regards to maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain in those areas. Any rain would be welcome and needed, especially with all the fires that have been happening in Oklahoma over the last few weeks. And it's been so dry there. In fact, it's been dry in a lot of areas of the southeast, even places that have had rain. They've dried out again. So, again, lightning and winds and everything could cause more issues with fire, power lines being blown down, sparking new fires. It's going to be a mess. But basically, what we have, if you remember, a couple of days ago, and even in fact of yesterday, had a pretty strong Pacific storm come ashore. In fact, one of the first times in many years a severe thunderstorm watch was issued for parts of Washington State and Oregon. That is rare. It does happen, but not that often. It's been a few years since there's been a severe weather watch in that area, especially this time of year. So that's what's been happening there. Now, the storm came ashore, has moved over the Rockies, got a little more diffuse and broken up. But what's happening is this low-pressure trough ejects from Colorado and the Rockies back out in the plains. Guess what? Yeah, it's going to refire itself up. It's going to, again, be trailing a lot of warm Gulf moisture in air. And temperatures are going to be in the 70s, 80s as we go into Sunday in a good part of the country, east of the Rockies and especially east of the Mississippi. That's going to be just a powder keg just waiting for something to set it off. And unfortunately, that is what's going to happen on Sunday. Let me take a look at what is going on for Sunday, because we have another an enhanced risk area. That's basically going to cover western Ohio, Indiana, a good part of Illinois, western Kentucky, central and western Kentucky, central and western Tennessee, a good portion of Arkansas, and let's see, parts of the southeastern parts of Missouri, and the north parts of Mississippi. That's an enhanced risk. Right now, they're anticipating a pretty decent severe weather outbreak. That risk, there has been some talk about maybe that risk being upgraded to a moderate risk in some of those areas. Nothing yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. But still, there's going to be a chance of some strong tornadoes. This storm then coming off the Rockies, like I said, is going to re-intensify and develop a pretty significant low-pressure system. It's going to be drawing forth plenty of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Like I said, dew points will be between 55 and 65 degrees. That's pretty humid. Temperatures will be in the 70s to 80s, and those areas will be just, again, that percolating weather waiting for it to break loose. There'll be a cap over that area in Indiana, Ohio. Now, this cap, again, we talk about the cap. It will suppress thunderstorm growth until something triggers the cap and it breaks. That's what they're looking at happening. There'll be a cap in place over a good part of the Midwest, even in the lower Mississippi Valley. This cap will break probably sometime Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening when the low pressure system and the storms start with the storms, and also the cold front starts moving in. And when it does, they're now concerned that discrete supercells will develop. That'll be the first thing that'll develop with this cold front. And again, discrete cells are the most likely ones to produce tornadoes. And some of these tornadoes, they say, could be strong. EF2 or better, probably EF3 or better would not be an exaggeration. Heavy rains, very strong winds, 75 to 85 mile an hour gusts are expected in some places on Sunday with the gust fronts and these downdraft winds from the storms. Vivid lightning, lots of rain in places, some places looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain. And, of course, that means there could be flash flooding. Have to keep an eye on all that, but basically the concern is we're going to have some of these tornadoes could be strong to violent. Again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Right now, Sunday looks like a pretty busy day, basically through all the Midwest and a good part of the Southeast. Again, now all this translates to the East Coast on Monday, and they're looking at the possibility there could be severe weather again, basically from Boston, New York City, all the way down to Maryland into the Carolinas. And so there's a good chance of severe weather then. We'll have to keep an eye on how bad that's going to be. There's still a great concern as timing and everything. Again, we're looking at 48 to 72 hours out. Hard to say what's going to happen. Where's the low pressure system going to be, how the cold front's going to be moving, all that other stuff, all the other mixings that you put in the bowl to get that severe weather brewing. Also, by then they're expecting a lot of these storms will congeal into a squall line, pretty potent one, but a squall line is not as likely to produce tornadoes. Stronger violent tornadoes. Usually they can produce tornadoes, but they're usually not as strong. But we'll wait and see what happens. But again, they're still concerned that we can still have a pretty decent shot at severe weather on Monday along the East Coast. And finally, this all lifts out Monday night into Tuesday. However, Gary, you're going to kind of mess it up for everybody again. However, another chance of severe weather again starting on Wednesday in parts of the plains and the Midwest. We'll be talking more about that as the weekend goes on, but there will be another round of severe weather, and again, it could be also a significant round of severe weather. We're having a real spring weather pattern, many storms coming in off the Pacific, reorganizing over the Rockies, coming out, drawing up lots of Gulf moisture, yada, 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 and the thunderstorms develop. So that's what's happening with a quick rundown. Severe weather is possible tomorrow, basically on Saturday, like I said, in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Oklahoma, Kansas, and even parts of Texas. Sunday, though, is going to be the big day. Severe weather is likely basically from Mississippi, Arkansas, through Tennessee, through Missouri, through Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. That's going to be happening on Sunday, and then Monday along the East Coast as the storm system moves out, but another storm system will be right behind it, and severe weather will be likely again on Wednesday in parts of the Midwest. We'll break all that down as it happens, but there's an outlook to kind of take to bed with you over the next couple of days. Again, make sure you have ways of getting warnings, and your phone, your weather radio, whatever you've got, make sure, because again, this weather outbreak will start on Sunday afternoon and go well into Sunday night. We're getting used to that. Nocturnal thunderstorms and nocturnal tornadoes are going to be a very strong possibility. Again, with some of these tornadoes, it could be strong EF2 to EF3 plus or better. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll give you a rundown all through the weekend of the different situations happening with the thunderstorms and the weather. So keep it right here on Twisted Talk, and we'll keep you informed. I'm Gary. Take care, be safe, and be ready. It's going to be a busy weekend.